5 years and still talking. This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hello, everybody. This is Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble. It goes from now until midnight on the East Coast of the United States of America. All right, here we go. We call this guy all the time, and we just do it this way because he always comes up with some kind of amazing stuff to start off with. Hold on. That was ringing a little bit. There we go. Mm-hmm.
Kooky, lend me your toe tag. Kooky, give me some formaldehyde. Kookie's dead, motherfucker. I was going to manage that motherfucker. Oh, shit, Kookie's dead. Hello?
Hey, he was 86. Come on. You know,
it wasn't, yeah, I know. That's old. Yeah, that's enough Kooky. Enough Kooky.
It wasn't like he was a young puppy.
Nah, he was still better than Fabian, though.
Then again, what scares me about it is he's only 6 years older than I am. So,
look out. Well, the ride is coming to a stop for all of us, so don't worry. We're all getting off soon enough.
And I've got that prostate cancer thing, so I'm being...
Oh, you told me that, yeah.
I'm being treated for that, which will probably wind up with me. They said that won't kill me. It's not going to kill me. Okay, that they're going to clear it up. It's not going to kill me. Something else will. That's the happy news. Something else will.
Something's going to kill you. You might get hit by a cab like the lady who rode Gone with the Wind. You never know. Anything can happen anyway.
By the way, if I haven't already done so, this is Stephen Pearl, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, like anyone cares. Thank you. I'm Stephen Pearl, and if you don't like me, I'm Kippadonna Jr. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, boy.
One of the new faces of 42.
Yeah. So, new faces of 42, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, how you doing?
Good, hanging out, man. Still alive, rock and roll, sitting on the bed with 2 of the 3 cats, and everything's wonderful.
Yeah. Where's the other cat? Doesn't want to have anything to do with it?
He's on the couch. Muddy Waters is on the couch. He's a loner. He's thinking of some blues lyrics on the couch now. So.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think one of the cats is going to join him now. I have 1 cat on the bed. 1 in the bed, 2 in the box, boss. 1 in the box, 1 in the bush.
Yeah, well, we can make this a tribute to Ed Burns.
This whole show is dedicated to Ed Kooky Burns. Kooky. Why spill?
That's a guy who had a career for about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, well, no, however long, what was he on, 77 Sunset Strip, however long that show was on, that was his career.
And then he had a hit record, Kooky, lend me your comb. He didn't even sing, God. He said it,
He talked on it. Yeah, like, hey, baby, I'm the living end. Nah, it's cool.
But it became a number 1 record, and I think what they learned by that is if you monopolize turn into money a television character, you could make some money out of it by selling records and lunch boxes.
They all made records, like the kid from the Donna Reed show and Sal Mineo. All those people made records. A lot of them were horrible, but they sold.
Yeah. But what the problem is that I think after that he didn't really have any career, did he?
I don't know what he did. They might have done a guest spot on a Magnum PI in the 80s. Ed Kooky Burns makes a return to television in Magnum.
I imagine if we looked somewhere, we could find a Love Boat that he did.
Yeah, he probably was on Love Boat, one of those shows, one of those idiotic shows.
As a matter of fact, wasn't it at the Golden Globes, I think it was Tom Hanks who said, who here in the room didn't do a Love Boat?
Nah.
It was the thing you did in those days. You did a Love Boat.
In the future, everyone will be on Love Boat for 15 minutes.
Yeah, the agent going, if you stick with me, I'll get you a Love Boat.
Yeah, you get your Love Boat. I'll get you in Blood, Sweat, and Tears for a month too.
Yeah,
you do both.
I often, when I watch Love Boat, my whole attitude was, what the fuck happened to Gavin MacLeod? I used to love him on Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, he was amazing on Mary Tyler Moore. He's a very good actor. He played a good heavy, too. I saw him as a prisoner on Hawaii Five-0. He played a good psychopath. And then all of a sudden, they give him the shorts, and he's making the big money, and he becomes a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And then it's the end of his career. What did he do after that?
He's on a couple of Jesus shows. I think he found Jesus, and then he was on some of those religious shows, and then you never saw him again.
Really?
But they just love boating. Mary, we're on the love boat now, Mary. We'll be storming the hurricanes, playing rock and roll in the Riviera room, Mary. Yeah. Come to the love boat, Mary. Join me on the dark side. That's my Gavin McLeod impression, world famous.
Well, we lost another person this week. And this will I'll probably be playing this next week, but from when we record this, we're recording this on a Friday, is we lost Buck Henry.
Oh, he was great. Buck Henry was great.
Well, my remembrance of Buck Henry was Al Goldstein said, "You want to come with me and my wife? We're going to a slave auction."
That's cool. A night out with Al Goldstein.
This was the kind of thing they would hold back in the day, where they would auction off people to be sex slaves.
It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time. So I go with him, and he brings his friend with him, Buck Henry.
Ah.
All right. So Buck Henry is there, and as this whole thing is going on, which is a big S&M deal all the way around.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, somebody turns to him and says, "Aren't you Buck Henry?" And he looks back at him and goes, "Not tonight."
Not tonight. Good old Buck. He looked like a schmo off the street, but boy, was he funny.
He was. What I didn't like is I think it was Dateline, the site for news in the business. They said SNL regular dies. That was the headline.
Oh, really? He wasn't a regular. He was on it a lot, but he wasn't a regular back
then.
Well,
I don't think that's what he was really known for. He wrote The fucking Graduate, for crying out loud.
That's right.
He created Get Smart with Mel Brooks, for Christ's sake. He wrote a lot of movies and appeared in a lot of movies and so on.
Sure.
The least of his credits, if you were to list him, was SNL regular. When I saw that headline, I figured, I don't know, who died? Adam Sandler died? Who died?
Yeah. Probably written by a millennial idiot, so, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So, that was not his greatest achievement. And he was really terrific. I mean, as a comedy writer. But I always remember him saying, "Not tonight." I'm not Buck Henry tonight. Not while I'm sitting here watching people being auctioned off.
Well, I remember on Saturday night he played a character, some pedophile that you could never show today. It was really nasty with Gilda Radner and Lorraine Newman playing the little kids that he was babysitting. And it's times have changed. Let's put it that way.
You can't do a lot of stuff today.
Can't do a lot of shit today. Yeah, the 70s were pretty wild, so anything went. But now,
I mean,
gentlemen, stop your engines.
Well, I hate political correctness for that reason.
Yeah.
That what was funny 10 years ago should be funny now, and it probably is. But you won't put it on because it's in bad taste.
That's right. It'll offend some people. Some people have to go to their safe space.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
It's derogatory towards women. Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Today, can you imagine it? Today, Henny Youngman wouldn't be able to do his act, and that was the most what can we call it? Vanilla comedian ever in the history.
Take my wife, please. That offended someone. You can't do that one anymore.
My wife's so fat. How fat is she? Oh, don't make fat jokes. You can't make fat jokes. You're a fattest. Hell,
it's over, baby.
I remember when we had Monty Hoffman, who was rather large, and one day we all decided on the show to do Monty Hoffman is so fat that jokes. And, when he sits around the house, he sits around the house. That's always the go-to. But you can't do my wife's so fat.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with the political correct, my wife is so fat. So I will say, you come back at me. My wife's so fat.
Uh-huh.
Now you're supposed to say...
That her birthday is...
No.
The 9th.
No. My wife's so fat. And then you're supposed to say, how fat?
How fat is she, Johnny?
Boy, you don't know how to be a straight man at all, do you? My wife's so fat.
How fat is she?
That the doctor told her she better lose some weight, otherwise there'll be health problems.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. That didn't offend anyone.
I mean, come on, what do you do today?
I know, you don't do anything. You just watch some millennial clown get up there and not be funny for 10 minutes.
My wife's so fat. How fat is she? She's so fat that if she wears a red, white, and blue dress on a street corner, they put mail in her mouth. Thank you. I made that one up myself. That was my own "my wife is so fat" joke.
Well, she wore high heels when she struck oil, but I gotta tell you.
Yes, this is offensive, folks. Let's just be totally offensive.
Well, just call me offensive. I don't give a shit. I'm 64. I earned my I don't give a shit badge the day I turned 50.
You know, I mean, it's getting so... Everything's getting so, what can we call it, politically correct, and correct in all ways. I mean, I was going through this whole hospital thing. I can't tell you how many times they asked me what my name was and what my birth date was to make sure I was the person they were supposed to do this thing with. And then I couldn't leave the hospital till I peed. Why? So if I don't pee and I get some kind of infection, you're going to get sued? You know, I got news for you. You're going to get sued anyway. Okay, so get over it. You know, but everything's also so politically correct. I mean, it's
insane. It's
I honestly believe if I did the show I did in San Francisco today, okay, I think I'd be run off the air.
Oh shit! Look at what Sam Kinison did. He wouldn't be able to get on any stage. It would be it's changed. It's changed greatly. Yeah. I wouldn't even do shows in Berkeley. I wouldn't even. In the '80s, it was fun, but then later on, you get a lot of. What the fuck's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
I don't even book me for the show if it's in Berkeley. I don't care if it pays $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm not going to the B word. Ooh, the B word, yeah.
Ugh. B word. Anyway, so, I mean, it's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
You know? Yeah, it's all ridiculous. What do you do?
Yeah. You know, I just don't know what I would do today. And I'm trying to think of stuff we did on the show that I just absolutely could not do today without getting heat for it. You know. Oh, let's say, you know, one of the old go-to things for people doing a morning show was when it was a really cold day, you said you give away a prize to the first woman that showed up wearing a bikini. You know. If I did that, sexist, I'm sorry, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you can't ask
I can't do it.
Right.
I had a friend at a 400-pound lesbian in Berkeley. Oh, I said 400-pound lesbian in Berkeley. Oh, we're getting cut off the air.
You remember the stripper I had on the air once that came on the show, and I said, so it says, must be seen to be believed in the ad for the stripper. And I said, what must be seen to be believed? She says, let me show you. And she got up on the desk and stuck her fist up her ass.
Oh, my God. Family entertainment.
Now, how would the reaction to that be today?
Oh, you'd be yanked off the air before she got like 3 fingers in.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't even be allowed to have the stripper on. How dare you? How dare you exploit an exploited woman? You know, it's just pathetic. Just pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any jokes in your act that you've cut out because they're?
Oh, lots of them. Oh, yeah. And you don't do the gay jokes anymore. That's no good. That's not. You don't do those anymore. So I cut a few of those out. and a couple.
Well, tell me one of the gay jokes that you did.
Oh,
we're doing this. We're doing this just as example. Okay, folks.
Okay, here's an example. I just think when I do a little country, I have some silly country and western songs I do, and one of them, which I don't do anymore, is in a bar up in Moose Jaw, not far from a drugstore. She sat down and took off her wig, and I leaned over and got a good look at what turned out to be a transvestite pig. He picked a fine time to tell me, Emil, I've had some big shocks, and I've seen some big cocks, but this time my asshole won't heal. You see, had big laughs, and nope, not anymore. Can't do it anymore. Nope.
What is politically incorrect about that?
It's wrong. It's about a transvestite. It's wrong. Leave them alone. They do no wrong. Leave them alone. Don't mention them.
Oh, they're not called transvestites anymore. They're transsexuals.
Put them in the bushes where they belong.
I don't know. They're
transsexuals. They can't do it anymore.
They're not transvestites anymore. They're
can't do it no more.
They're transsexuals. No.
And the LSMFT community.
The LSMFT community.
I support them. That's right, Jack. The Lucky Strike means fine lesbians. Back to you, Jack.
Yeah. Lucky Strike means fine lesbians. Yeah. So,
get happy, go lucky. Back to you, Jack. Suck a lesbian off today.
Some people don't even know what we're talking about. Do you realize
I don't care. I know. Nobody knows what I'm talking about anymore if you're less than 60.
Yeah. So, you know.
My God, he did a Don Wilson reference. What's wrong with this guy? He's sick. Doing Don Wilson, talking about transvestites and Don Wilson.
Yeah. Anyway, so I just think it's getting to be, you know.
You can't make fun of him. Once again, Lenny Bruce, I know he'd get arrested today, but he probably wouldn't get a lot of work today, so, you know.
Well, for instance, you go back to vaudeville, okay, and you had what we call the dialect comedians.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I don't think those guys could work today, you know. Oh, how dare you stereotype Jews like that?
Yeah, you're making fun of someone's accent. They're trying to speak English as best as they could. You blah, 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 blah.
And those were Jews doing Jews on stage.
That's right.
But, you know,
yeah, that's right.
But they wouldn't be working today. Of course, Stephen Fetchit, one of the finest comics ever to hit the screen, wouldn't be able to work today because he was stereotyping blacks. Although the thing about Stephen Fetchit, I always defend him because he was a great comic, and he created this character. Hey, I'm walking as fast as I can, boss. You know.
Yeah. Well,
and he did that, and people laughed at it and thought it was very funny. And then all these other black comics decided, well, that's the way we can make some money. So they all imitated Stephen Fetchit.
Yeah.
And Stephen Fetchit didn't create a stereotype. The people who copied him created the stereotype and enforced the stereotype. And so quit blaming Stephen Fetchit. I mean, that guy was the best, you know.
Yep. That's right. He's also a very intelligent, a very articulate guy.
Oh, wait a minute. I would get in trouble for that. I'm sorry. Saying that Stephen Fetchit.
Don't even mention his name. You get in trouble for mentioning the name. He never existed.
Stephen Fetchit was funny. Well, I had a thing.
Liberal world, he never existed.
I had a thing that you may remember this over at the radio station, Live 105, in which I mentioned that I thought Sam Kinison was funny, you know, and I defended Sam Kinison and his jokes and so on. And the gay and lesbian anti-defamation group complained, not because of something I had said regarding gays, but the fact that I defended Sam Kinison. And they got to see the station and have a meeting with the station, and they all sat there on one side of the desk, and we were on the other side of the desk, and they started playing excerpts from Kinison's act. You know, not the lead in, not the lead out, but the thing he was saying. All right. Yeah. And
Lenny Bruce show.
Yeah. And they're all sitting there like, you know, the women's morality committee.
The women's extra hymen union.
Yeah, yeah. And, saying they want, I don't know what they wanted from us. And finally, I just got up and I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is a witch hunt. I feel like I was Trump at the time. This is a witch hunt. What you're doing is you're taking a man out of context and not playing his entire act. You're complaining about a guy who is simply making jokes about the gay community that you find in bad taste, but quite frankly, it's not because he dislikes gays or because he hates gays, but just because he finds everything funny. Okay? And you have to admit there's something funny about being gay. All right? And I said, I'm sick of this. This is censorship. I've seen it before. I'm sure I will see it again. And quite frankly, I just can't put up with this any longer. And I got up, walked to the door, and slammed it shut behind me.
Damn, good exit.
Leaving the program director and the general manager looking at these people, and they were aghast that I got up and left. I figured, come at me. Come on. I'll fight you. Because I've been nothing but good to the gay community my whole life. When I was growing up, I grew up gay. I grew up gay because everybody thought I was, not because I was. And come on, come at me. Let's have a good brouhaha here.
Yeah.
And eventually, I did some kind of thing where I was supposed to win a prize of $5,000 to be given to charity, and I gave half of it to the Gay and Lesbian Anti-Defamation League. I gave them gave them $2,500 and said, I don't hate you guys. I'm not against you. I just am against your tactics, and I think they have to change.
Yeah,
that was that.
There you go, revolutionary till the end.
Yeah. So that was a nice fight, and my program director and the general manager afterwards said, "We're proud of you." That was that was what we wanted to do, but we couldn't do it. And what I was seeing was they were just taking political correctness, and that was an excuse for doing what they did in the McCarthy era. What censorship groups have done all along. If you're for something like gay rights, that's terrific. I think it's wonderful. But don't use that as a weapon to censor people.
Exactly. Sounds good. Yeah.
Especially comedy. They never censor comedy.
How dare they?
Yeah. There should be a law in the Constitution. It's another amendment saying thou shalt be able to do comedy without.
Leave the comics alone. We suffer enough anyway. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
What are we going to do anyway?
I mean, gay isn't funny. Come on, gay is funny. There's some very funny stuff.
You can find humor in anything and everything, but now you're not allowed to.
Listen, there are gay comics and there are gay performers who go out of their way to be extra gay because it's funny.
Yep. Because of the shit. I can't do my Billy DeWolf impression anymore.
Yeah,
he used to be a gangbuster.
Rip Taylor. Good example. Rip Taylor. Very funny guy, but he made his life actually overdoing being gay.
Exactly. And he's a very, very funny guy.
So don't tell me that being gay isn't funny. Don't tell me being Jewish isn't funny, or that. Of course, there's nothing funny about Presbyterians, but we'll get to that at some other time.
Boring yourself.
Yeah, but I just stop it with the political correctness.
Exactly. Let's go back to 1979. Stay there for a while.
Well, let people like Stephen Pearl do comedy. Okay, that's his job, and don't tell him how to do it. All right?
Exactly.
And if he's in bad taste and he offends you, then don't go to see him perform.
Exactly.
That's your way of censoring him. And if not enough people show up anymore, Steve may do something and change his act. I doubt it, but he may do something and change his act. Although you don't sing the transvestite song anymore.
Wearing a jacket with patches on the sleeve and talking about the good things in life.
Yeah. So, it's amazing. So anyway, so everything's good out there in Las Vegas.
Things are good. I'm liking. I got a couple of gigs coming up, and I'm going to Reno at the end of the month. I got a gig there, and I'm sitting around with the cats. Everything's nice. And I got over a cold, and now I don't have the cold anymore.
So you're working. That's good. That's good.
I'm working, not all the time. Enough right now.
We'll talk to you again. We'll talk to you again sometime soon. I don't know when exactly because I've got all this radiation going on.
Yeah, I know you guys doing.
We'll talk about it.
I'm here.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Pearl. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to see you all and hear you all and smell you all. God bless each and every one of you.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. There he was. There's the legendary Stephen Pearl. And I hope you enjoyed him so very, very much. Wait a minute. Let me turn down my headset here. Because I hear the room tone. Okay. Anyway, you don't know what that is anyway. Let me see here. What are we going to do? We're going to go to turn on Skype. See, I would like to turn on Skype in advance, and it used to be that when I had it on in advance, I could keep it off and nobody could call me. And now, okay, it's a whole different deal. So, okay, well, I'm open now. I'm open. The lines are open. And so you can call if you want to call. Listen, I'm not going to be here Thursday night. The reason I'm not going to be here Thursday night is we have our trial, first day of our trial, the next morning, and I have to be up really early. Okay, so I won't be here on Thursday, but I'll be here back again on Friday because I figure I'll catch a nap or something, and then I can do the show. So, simple, huh? Okay. The following week, I will not be here, I guess Tuesday and Wednesday. Wait a minute, I won't be here Tuesday. I won't be here Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I'll be only on Friday night, okay? Again, for the same reason, is that I have to be there so early that I can't stay up late enough here, and that's a problem. So, anyway. That's the sum total of it. So that's the way it's going to be for the next week. I'm going to be going through radiation starting on the 27th, but I don't perceive that's going to keep me from doing the show. It might make me do a shorter show or something like that because I'm just too fatigued. They say I'm going to have mild fatigue, and I don't know what that is because I'm always mildly fatigued. All right, so I have no idea what that means. Is anybody going to call me, or do I have to just say, fuck it all? I'm sure that we are able to get calls. I'm sure that we're going out there okay, I think. Yes, we're going out there. And it's just that nobody's calling, Why do I do this? Why do I do it? I don't know. And then I sit here and I'm humiliated by the fact that nobody's calling. And some nights it's like they all jump in at once, and then other nights it's like they don't jump in at all. So, so what the hell? Maybe I should take the rest of the week off. Why should I just take Thursday off? Yeah, we have the first day of our trial. Something I'm not looking forward to. I told my lawyers that I wasn't even going to show up for it. I was getting so disgusted. We got a bill. Oh, well, I'll talk about that later. Here comes Phil. Okay, so we have Phil. Let me see here. Was he in any place last week that was in the first place? No,
I was in the wet spot last week.
You were in the wet spot last week. Well, let me just get you on here. Okay, scuba diver.
You're up against the Democratic debate.
What?
Tonight?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, here comes Jeff Stein. At least he doesn't care about the Democratic debate either. I don't care. I forgot it was completely on at all. So, let me see here.
You didn't miss anything so far.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Okay, cancel. I'm trying to See if is Stein Zeller coming up here? Here we go.
I'm here.
Now let me
Jeff,
see.
how
There
many
we
polar
go.
bears
There we
died
go.
for that jacket?
Not enough.
Not enough, right? No, I care so little about. I got to tell you about the Democrats. It's they're a pathetic bunch of nominees. You know, I mean, what do you think, Jeff? As a Democrat, forget it. The Republican has to keep his mouth shut on this one. Yeah, because we know what he's going to say. It's predictable.
I
I
know.
could just
Doesn't
do the
matter.
part. I could do the part. Okay, yeah.
I think the only one that I'm kind of interested in is Pete.
Buttigieg.
I think some of these
let's forget.
75-year-old guys.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, but that's not reasonable. Okay,
May not be.
you know which one of these guys can take on Trump, and I guess the answer, the only one, is probably Biden. You know, and that's pretty poor if we got to rely on him.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't put my money on that
Yeah,
horse.
yeah.
He's too slow.
He's
Bunch of malarkey.
well, yeah, I guess, but Trump's going to waddle himself to an early death if he doesn't lose some weight. So,
That would be a good thing.
well, not if what's his name? Oh, hold on a second. I have a mat here that keeps shifting.
5 years, 5.
No,
Gabnet needs you.
No, stop.
Yes,
Stop
Gabnet
it.
needs you to call
Stop
our
it.
live.
I accidentally pushed on my keyboard there. No, I have this mat down here, and it was really shifting badly, so I had to. Anyway, hi. No, I just, I just think that. Oh, if Trump died, then we get Pence.
Pence.
Yeah, that's not an acceptable. I would rather probably have Trump. Because I know what he's going to do next.
Hey, is Pence the English version of Eddie Money?
No. I had a producer. What was his name now? And I was in England, and oh boy, I forget. I forget his name now. Damn it! But it was a name that when I I was making a collect call back to the United States to my producer, and oh yeah, this was it. Yeah. I said, I'd like to place a collect call to New York City, to Bob Schilling. And she said, you must be kidding me. That's what I got on the other end of the phone. Because in England, a shilling is also called a bob. Mm-hmm. And I suppose nobody names their kid Bob Schilling, but this guy's name was Bob Schilling.
Our vice president's a rapper. He could have been called Fitty Pence.
Fitty Pence, yeah. yeah. But anyway, what the hell? I just don't think we got anybody. I'm conceding the election to Trump, okay? That's it.
That's too bad, but yeah.
For lack of a better person, a good person could beat him, wipe his ass all over the map, but they don't have that person.
Amy Klobuchar isn't that bad. I think that she's not a left-wing crazy like Bernie. The thing about Warren,
I don't think Bernie's a left-wing crazy. I mean, if he were really to the that far to the left, he wouldn't be a senator. He wouldn't put up with that nonsense.
Yeah. Well, Putin would have thrown his support in then, and then Warren. Every week it's a different thing. Before it was I was visibly pregnant and I got fired, and that's what principals did. And 12 years before that, she said, "Hey, I was pregnant. I left to raise my child." This woman can't tell the truth. You say that Trump is a liar. Elizabeth Warren makes Trump look like he's practicing to be a choir boy.
I'm no big fan of Elizabeth Warren. I don't disagree with her politics particularly, but I'm no great fan of hers. I agree with you. I think that she's terribly inconsistent. And, the whole thing about I've got some Indian in me,
She's an elitist and a Republican,
Yeah.
I think she's a very smart lady.
She is a smart lady.
Yeah, let her stay in school.
Well, the problem is, look, Jeff, let me bring this up to you. If Smart wins, then Trump wouldn't be president.
Oh, that's true.
Okay? One of the dumbest people in America.
Yep.
Street smart, but dumb. Okay?
He has good intuition about things. Like you said, street smart. But, when it comes to whether he should involve himself in this or that, he seems to always be on the right side or the winning side of the right decision.
Really?
Yeah, well, you're going to
destroying the national parks.
It's not destroying national.
Yes, he is.
Parks.
Yes, he is.
You're listening to that crap.
He's opening up. I'm tired, Phil. I am sick and tired of you telling me every time I say something like that, I'm listening to that leftist crap.
Yes, you are.
No,
look,
I'm not.
If you don't clear some of the trees in the national parks, it was Clinton that stopped the logging of national parks, and then what ended up happening is we had more fires. And
that isn't what caused more. That isn't what caused more fires, Phil.
Well, yeah, because if you don't,
if
trees, don't clear dead trees.
Oh yeah, no, dead trees, but we clear those, Phil. We have people who maintain those national parks. But if you take away the funding to those national parks, they won't be able to maintain them.
Well, I don't see the funding being taken away. I know that in Yosemite,
this is going to be exhausting. What?
In Yosemite, they had one group of people, for instance, running the concessions and the hotel, the Ahwahnee Hotel. Now, the group that's in there, they're claiming isn't giving as good a service, but that has nothing to do with Clinton. It wasn't his administration that made the change in the in who was running the Ahwahnee or who was running these concessions.
Yeah. So what do you say?
Well, the service has gone down. So he's opening up certain amounts of land.
Yeah.
To logging.
Yeah.
And he's also allowing drilling for oil in certain places. Hey, it's been good for the economy.
Oh, it's been good for the economy. I see.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Like we need to the whole idea. Hello, Vernon. How are you, my friend? Thanks for coming by.
I'm trying to get my headset connected here.
Thanks for coming by to try and save my ass.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
The headset is connected to the knee bone. The knee bone is connected to the thigh bone.
I heard your frustration, Alex. I thought I'd call up and we talk about prostate cancer.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, Alex, did you get irradiated today?
No, that's not till 2 weeks from last Monday.
So what did you do today?
Nothing. Nothing. I watched television and jerked off to porn. What?
Do it now because
I'm doing it
later.
now while I can still do it.
No. One thing, Alex, I was going to call about this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Phil may be having that problem, but for the treatment that you're going through, if I'm any example to that, you won't have any trouble getting it.
Yeah, but I'm also going to have the seeds, too. And the seeds may do that to me.
Is that what the doctor said?
But it may. It may. They don't, the seeds can cause me, it'll cause me to pee a little more.
It's going to ejaculate marigolds.
Imagine yourself coming into bloom.
Ejaculate marigolds?
Yeah, you got seeds.
Ejacularity?
I mean, ejaculate marigolds.
He's in bloom.
That isn't as funny as my line about when I fart, a nuclear cloud coming out of my ass. I think that's a better joke.
is funny.
Depends on what side you're on.
Yeah, but you had the long-term radiation, which they don't do a lot anymore in towns where there are cyber knives.
Yeah, apparently that's true. This company that did this was the only one in town who did it.
Right.
How many years ago, Vernon, did you get it?
It was 6 years ago. 7 years ago.
Yeah, and he's completely clean. He's so far,
Well, yeah, doing my annual physical tomorrow, and the blood work was done a couple of weeks ago, and my PSA had dropped to 0.33.
Yeah. So that's good.
I thought it was supposed to be non-detectable.
No, that's when you have your.
If you remove it, mine has been removed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine's non-detectable.
No, his will go down. Mine will go down. If worse comes to worse and his comes back and kind of raises, they just throw hormones in you, and that takes care of it. So it's I'm looking forward to the first round of it. The seeds I'm not that in love with, only because I'm going to have this idea that I've got these seeds in my prostate. They've turned my prostate into a pincushion. But
have a couple more biopsies. You'll know what a pincushion
is.
Well,
no, I'm not. I don't need any more biopsies. I've had the biopsy, and they said, we're going to radiation. We're going to seeds. In fact, I'm going to seed. So, it's, yeah. But this same guy who did Rudy Giuliani. So that's the good news.
Look how that turned out.
Yeah, I know.
He lived.
I have said to him, I've read about you, and I notice that you have a long. When it comes to seeds, you're the guy to go to, and so on. He says, "Yeah." I said, "You invented a lot of the processes they're doing today," and he said, "Yep." And I did not mention Rudy Giuliani. It killed me, but I didn't mention Rudy Giuliani.
Imagine he has a big picture of him in the office when you walk in.
No, he doesn't. I don't think that's the only thing he wants.
Rudy says,
so tempted.
I don't think
I was not only a successful client, I own the prostate.
Yeah. But I mean,
he's got it in a glass. Rudy, we're going to auction that off. Rudy.
Yeah. But he's the go-to guy for these. And I said, you're doing these seeds right after the other radiation just to make sure. He says that, yes, absolutely. This way we'll get it all, So, I trust him,
Hey, Vernon?
Huh?
Vernon, did somebody tell you that the guy you went to was the best guy, the best oncologist, or the best guy at this, bar none?
Not really. The urologist that I went to was recommended by my GP, but he was part of a urology company that basically all the urologists worked through. So they had a monopoly on it.
Yeah, I just found that everybody says that I had the best surgeon, or
the best in San Francisco,
the number one guy.
Well,
that's what they told me.
No, the number one guy at Kaiser.
Yeah,
that's like Yeah,
well, there's only one guy at Kaiser.
There's only one guy at Kaiser.
One man operation,
and he's got he's there because he's got the longest finger. What?
You're going to put me on YouTube? I'm not seeing myself on YouTube.
You are? Oh, I see. You're right. Because you know what I got to do? I have to do that. And then you will be on YouTube. I'm sorry.
Hey.
See, I get in. I start talking to people.
Just a voice in the cloud.
I start talking to people, and then I forget to switch because I'm looking over like I'm looking at you, but it's on another thing, and it's it's me getting older. Okay, thank you for telling me.
Well, I turn 71 tomorrow, so
congratulations!
Happy birthday!
Congratulations!
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, and you got prostate cancer at a time where they take it a little more seriously than
Well, yeah, that's the age that it was discovered. It was the guy told me if I had been a little bit younger, like Phil was, they probably would have removed the prostate, and if I'd been 10 years older, they wouldn't have done anything. So
yeah. So so that's what's happening with me, and it's I think it's going to be okay. But the side effects of the of both the first. Did you have any problems with the radiation causing you to urinate more often?
No.
No, because they say that's possibly one of the side effects of the CyberKnife. That but when you put in the seeds, it does, I think, inflame the prostate for a certain amount of time, so it could squeeze against stuff. What?
Have you checked your insurance to see if they're going to pay for this double procedure? For instance, I'm just wondering if Medicare says, well, look, you're getting the radiation and that should be enough.
Phil, yes.
Oh, so they're going to pay.
Well, we know they're going to pay because I've read up on this. In a lot of cases, the two being done is very common.
Oh, the only
it's
reason
a course of treatment.
The only reason I ask is I had my teeth cleaned before the end of the year.
Phil, this is not having my teeth cleaned.
Well, this is coverage.
What are you doing? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Panic me?
Yeah, I got the best dental
you're trying to panic
I ever had. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, I go in, I have the teeth cleaned, and they deny the cleaning. Right. And so I call them up this morning, and I said, why didn't you send me the check for, I got some insurance checks here. This one.
No, I don't want to have to. We don't have to
why
see your
didn't
checks.
you send me, pay for the whole thing? They said, well, your second cleaning was not within within 6 months of
Phil,
the last
you're
one.
Talking,
I said, but you get to a year.
That's very common with teeth cleaning and teeth insurance.
Right.
If you do, you're only allowed. Are you ready for this, Phil? You're only allowed 2 a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so I said,
and your dentist will say, every dentist says you've got to do it every 3 months.
Right. Well,
Really?
4 months.
Yeah.
But what happened was they said not only was it within the 6 months of the last one, I said, yeah, but you get 2 a year. No, it's got to be 6 months apart. And then to the day, they said, and then at least, and then they said,
that's very common. What does that have to do with my prostate insurance?
Well, I'm getting fucked out of $170.
Well, I could get fucked out of $20,000. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's why I ask you this question.
What happens is
pay for a double.
Wait a minute. Vernon had it absolutely right. It's a course of treatment, right, Vernon?
Yep.
Well, my cleaning was a course of treatment, and they told me to
Phil,
go pound sand.
Enough with the teeth cleaning.
I can agree with what Phil is saying because when I started on Medicare, they pay for a physical once a year.
Right.
But the physical for the next year has to be a year and a day after the one that you just take. Otherwise, Medicare won't pay for it.
That's right. See?
Yeah. So that was my only
question.
I'm
into January. Now, after 5 years on Medicare, I've gone from having my physicals in December to the middle of January.
Yeah, you move it up about a month every year. Yeah.
A week or so.
Yeah. But I mean, no, this is a course of treatment, Phil. And and if they deny it, then my doctor won't do it. But they will deny. They will.
And then these fuckers at the insurance company, I said, well, why would you?
I told you, Phil.
Yeah, I understand. But then they said to me, well, you got a major cleaning, and we don't pay for major cleanings. I said, what do you mean? I got my teeth cleaned. They put some, they polished some shit. And they took a pick and they got rid of the stuff and they used a water thing. So she says, oh, well, if they use tools, that's not the kind of cleaning we pay for. I said, what do you mean? I've been getting my teeth cleaned for 50 years, 60 years. What do you mean you don't use tools? I think I got fucked again by the insurance company.
Did it feel good?
No, I don't know who everybody uses, and they don't get fucked. But I'm using this Emeritus.
Well, by the way, quickly, Vernon, look, see, there are going to be two of you on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah, and soon it'll be Kevin, but I pushed the wrong button, so that's why we had two of you.
I got
Kevin. I got one Vernon.
No, but I put two of them up there for a short time, so that will make up for not having you on earlier. Okay.
All right.
So.
I feel better.
Okay.
Double V.
Yeah,
Double V,
this is a course of treatment, Phil, and they will cover it.
All right.
If a doctor says you need it, you need it.
My dentist said I needed it, and this check does not have does not have the money.
You're not going to stop with your fucking dentist. I'm talking about prostate cancer and $50,000 in charges.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not talking about having your goddamn teeth cleaned.
Well, yeah, but insurance. All I did was think to myself,
oh,
hey,
here we go.
If you get radiation and then you get seeds, is it 2 procedures? Are these procedures within 6 months of each other?
No, they are two. They are 2 procedures, one of which follows the other as a course of curing the problem.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Well, no. What do you mean we'll see? My doctor does this all the time, where people do the radiation first and then he does the seeds. And they've always been. He doesn't say, "Oh, they're not going to cover you."
Well, it'd be a decent question to ask. No,
I don't need to ask the question. He does all that for me. He calls up the insurance and gets there. All these operations have to be pre-authorized.
Yeah.
Okay. So he got the other one pre-authorized the other day in just about a day, and now he's going to get this one pre-authorized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're asking.
Thanks in the midst of my prostate cancer to make me panic.
Hey, that's what I do.
This.
What'd you say, Vernon?
I said Kevin's having fun with this. He's sitting back there chuckling.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about, Kevin, that a course of operations is not, they don't say this operation you shouldn't have because it's close enough to the other operation, right?
Right. It's part of the procedure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's part of the treatment.
Yeah.
I think Kaiser's using Phil as a tool.
Yeah. No, this is not Kaiser. This is
part of the tool.
Veritas.
He's saying, Phil, are you a tool? You sure that's not the way it's worded?
He's coming in.
Then I call
Mr. Meyer, you're the tool. We can't.
Yeah, I call him up and I said, my agent said you guys pay 90%, and they said, well, agents tell you a lot of stuff. So I'm not a happy camper this morning.
You're not unusual, Phil, in that if I were to go get a cleaning more than twice a year, I have to pay for the other 2 cleanings. I always have had to.
Right, but the cleaning I got was 2 in the same calendar year.
No, two in the same calendar half year,
and not medical insurance. That's dental insurance.
Yeah, it's a whole different. It's a whole different deal. To begin with, dental insurance is not considered really a payment of services or whatever. It's considered an adjunct to your payments. They
only pay 50% of anything.
It's not the same as having medical insurance.
Well, they told me cleanings they pay 100%. Except they took a deductible on the first one. And I said, why was that? And they said, because it was a major cleaning. They used tools.
Deep cleaning, yeah.
I had one of those, and it paid for it. But I'm going to get my teeth cleaned next week, and I expect to pay the full fare on it. And the reason being that I have something like $100 deductible on my thing. So I have to pay that off first before.
Aren't you being a little optimistic?
What?
Why would you get your teeth cleaned until you're sure you get rid of the cancer? My dog's got cancer, and I'm not going to get her.
Shall I start Phil panicking? Maybe I should start him panicking.
I'm not going to get her.
It's very common that even though you have your prostate removed, because they remove the prostate, some of that sloughs off to the rest of the system, and you can get cancer in other parts of your body. Okay, sleep on that one, Phil.
It's actually, even though you don't have the prostate, it's still considered prostate cancer when it comes back, if it comes back.
Yeah.
But they, because I had it removed, I can get radiation. And they say that if you got the radiation and then you have it, and then you get it again, the cancer comes back. The radiation doesn't work as well, and they might have to do a different procedure.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with that because I got the false positive.
Then they give you the hormones.
Yeah. Well, I remember I got a false positive.
Okay, all right. I'm sure the audience is loving this.
Yeah. Well, hey, Phil with cancer.
I mean, they're wishing me the best of luck. With you, they hope you get cancer.
Hey,
me see.
Look
Here.
who's here.
Let me see here. Let me go. Lee Presson is here. Hold on.
Hello, how are you?
Wait a minute.
God.
Lee Presson. There he is. There you go.
Hi. Is someone going to the dentist for cancer treatments?
Yes.
He's going to the dentist to get his prostate checked.
Do that. That's not their specialty. That's not what they do.
If you get your prostate checked at the dentist, they're really doing a deep cleaning.
Yeah. See, that's why they would charge you. That's what they would charge you if they're going in, from the bottom.
Yeah.
But the insurance didn't cover that one.
Yeah, but it worked today. Girlfriend said take out the garbage, and I said I can't. I've got cancer. And that was it's a good gambit you can play now. Did you ever do that with your wife, Vernon?
Shut her up, huh?
Huh?
Yeah, no, that didn't work. As a matter of fact, she had her hand worked on December the 30th. So she spent 2 weeks sleeping in a lazy boy recliner so she could keep her arm elevated.
Oh wow!
So she got that bandage removed today, and now she has on
the only thing
a removable brace.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this brace here is still to keep that thumb immobile for another 4 weeks.
I should just call this the old people's show, because all we do is talk about our health. Boy, I've got a touch of the prostate cancer, But I just, what's amazing to me, Marjorie is just amazed. She says, "Boy, you're taking this thing really well." And I said, "Yeah, because now I know what I got, and we've determined that, and now I'm going to take the pill, as it were, and then that will take care of it." And my doctor says, it'll take care of it.
Not knowing is what was worrying you.
Well, I said to him, "Do you think it's spread at all?" He says, "No way it's spread." He said,
They do the CT scan?
Yeah, we had a CT scan the other day when I did, when I got we did the simulation for the for the radiation.
If it spreads, it goes to the bone.
And so they do. No, they did about 2 or 3 CT scans on me. My doctor was there looking at the CT scans, not looking for cancer, but to see where to place the radiation.
Oh.
But he was looking at him. If it was going to show up, it would have shown up.
Did they find that small toy you swallowed as a kid?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And he says he'll return it as soon as he does the seeds. Well, he's down there. He'll get it and bring it.
It's almost a collector's item.
Well, the thing is,
Alex Bennett, welcome to Jackass.
About the seeds, they put a big needle down through your perineum to get the seeds in there. But supposedly, after it's over, it doesn't hurt or anything. You feel okay. Feel fine.
It's kind of like Rolfing.
But I'm just wondering, you got radioactive seeds in you. Isn't that going to bother you a little bit?
I would imagine, no? You probably don't even know they're there.
Oh, probably.
You'll see next time you get on an airplane.
Yeah, get a little radio interference.
I wonder if the monitors are gonna go off.
Oh, you know what? They're going to use that swab, that wipe thing to see if you've got a bomb on you.
Yeah, well, I'm like sneaking a nuclear weapon on board. Well, that's if I fart, and then that'll do it really good. But
fart build dust.
Anyway, I'll tell you what really got us this week. Every month Marjorie gets a bill from the lawyers, and some months it's $2,000-3,000. Other months it's hardly anything. She got one for December for $13,000.
It's Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
Hey!
So I wrote my lawyer and I said, "Come on, we're not fucking made of money." So he's giving us a 15% discount.
Oh my God.
Ask him if he takes coupons.
And now we got the trial coming up. Yeah. So that's going to be, the only people getting rich out of this are the lawyers. I don't care how much anyone in this whole scenario makes out of the deal. We're not going to recover as much as the lawyers are making. There are 3 sets of lawyers here. And if I paid $13,000 last month, they all probably charged $13,000 last month. And, And then when they're there on Friday, there's going to be 3 sets of lawyers. Oh, by the way, the head of the law firm, he to make me feel even better, said, I'm going to come down and be part of that trial.
Because he gets 100 more an hour.
No, he said, and I am going to charge it, but not to you. I'm going to charge it to the guy who rented you the apartment. I'm going to charge them and collect from them.
How's he going to do that?
Because he's going to claim that, this is payment back. I mean, we're trying to get our legal money back. So he'll make it
win to get
he'll make
that.
it part
That's
of
probably
that.
a good sign that he thinks they're going to win then.
I think I mean, who knows?
He wants to really jam them.
Who knows? I just said, look, I said, I am just sick of this. I said, nobody is accusing us of doing anything wrong.
Tell him the stress gave you cancer and you need more damages.
Right. Now, I'm going to use the cancer gambit. I can't take this. I've got cancer, But I was just amazed that, it really has been it's been a real problem with this whole thing going on and on and on and on and on. And we're the only people who have done nothing wrong. In other words, nobody is accusing us of ripping them off for anything. The only thing is the guy who had the apartment wants us to give it back. That's all. That's the only thing that we are even. So we've already spent close to $80,000 to defend ourselves against a suit brought by him for us who did absolutely nothing.
Doesn't that mean you're a squatter?
Yes, I am. Yes, by all means we are. And damn proud of it, too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
In Oakland, California, I think it was today, the sheriff's department and the marshals came in and evicted 3 families from a vacant home that they were squatting in, and I guess they were yelling at the mayor and a number of other people. It's been a political football here for a little while. But so anyway, these 3 mothers with children, no husbands, were put out on the street early this morning. And
that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, the house was abandoned.
Yeah, I mean, I find that, So if it was abandoned, let them stay in it if they wanted,
Yeah.
Why get them out of there? So anyway, so we're going through this whole thing, and I don't know what's going to happen. The lawyer at the judge rather at the hearing before the trial that we were at said, "Well, would you be willing to pay $22.50 a month for the apartment?" And he thought that was a solution to the problem. That isn't even what we're suing about. The suit isn't about what we're going to pay in rent. Never has been.
They just try to make them go away.
He wanted to try and make it go away, but I said to my lawyer, I said, that's ridiculous. He doesn't even know what the case is fucking about. I mean, it's not about that. It's about the fact that this guy overcharged us for our apartment.
Was he an Obama appointee or a Trump?
I don't know. He's probably a Macy's appointee. I don't know.
Yeah, Bloomberg appointee.
Yeah, Bloomberg appointee. So
everybody gets a big gulp.
No, I love this judge. I absolutely love this judge. I'm only saying that because he holds his fate in my hands. Oh, look who's calling. Albeit a little bit on the late side, but always, it's always wonderful to have her here.
Hey,
let me see here. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me do that. And let me see here. We're going to put her in the number 7 slot. It's Ms. Halstead. Let's see here. Bob
number
Q.
7.
Kazoo. Yeah, number
Lee,
7.
Do you have a purple bulb in your studio?
Among other things.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because he's trendy. Hello, Halstead. How are you, Schmoody?
Hello, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. So anyway, so we're having that. We're gonna the suit itself. The trial is going to take 4 days.
Oh, that's nothing.
4? I mean nothing. I can commit murder and it would take less.
Oh, I thought that. Well, it's less than a week.
What?
Yeah, Lee. My friend Michael Engel was at your New Year's thing and put you up on Facebook. You were great.
Outstanding. Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How you doing? Well, first of all, we already lost Schmoody. Oh, there she is. She's back again. Yeah. How's it going, Lee? Have you been working at all, or?
Well, it's
about
January.
10 hours a day.
No, I wasn't talking about
Lee.
you. I understand you're
Purple
working, but he's a musician. They don't work that often. Yes, yes, Lee.
We did our New Year's Eve show, and then January is usually our off month. Things are very, very light in January. So I'm enjoying some time off.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine. Good.
I mean, after all, I put out an album recently. You know about that.
What's it called again?
It's called Last Request.
And where can you get a copy of this if you want to buy it?
You can get it on iTunes and Amazon and all streaming services.
All streaming services. Oh.
How do you get a cover?
We're also on the YouTubes.
How do you get a cover if you get it on a streaming service?
Well, you look at it on your screen and enjoy
That's it.
Yeah,
So you got
that's
the
it.
only one with a jacket?
Well, no, you can order if you like the physical media. If you're like me, and I know you are exactly like me, you're
Absolutely.
driving a car that's more than 10 years old, in which case we've got you covered. CDs. Go to LeePresson.com and click on Jukebox. You can order your own copy. I'll sign it. I'll send it to you.
Is there anywhere you can get 78s pressed?
Pressed?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, the laundry.
Well, of course, then you would have to ask the question, where do you play them? You know.
I had a Victrola, one of those ones you wound up, and it didn't have the horn, but it had these two little doors that opened underneath the platter, and it played. You didn't need electricity. It was very
That's
green.
true. You wound up. I had one of those for a while.
Yeah, very green. And how are you, Kathleen? How was your weekend?
It was very good. But, talking about recording, we have a cylinder.
Oh, an Edison cylinder?
Yes,
Edison.
which plays cylinder
Edison, yeah.
recordings.
Really?
Yep.
Those are wax, aren't they?
Yep.
Or are they metal?
Oh, yeah, they're whack.
Wax.
They're
Yeah,
wax.
they're wax. Yeah. So, do you have something to play on it?
My brother does because he was the one that inherited all the music stuff. So we have from cylinder on.
Wait a minute. From who? From your mother?
Well, from my stepdad's side of the family.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I imagine a little piece like that is probably worth something.
Yep.
They're rare.
Very rare.
Especially if you've got Edison singing "Mary Had a Little Lamb" on the cylinder. So.
What happens if it gets hot in the room? Do they melt? Icarus records?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine I imagine they're pretty perishable. But
They shatter pretty easily.
yeah, but they weren't.
Be careful.
They were wax. They were wax when they were recorded, but I think in the later years of the cylinder, they weren't. The ones that were sent out were not wax. They were literally an etching of the wax. The wax was used as the medium to record it with. Am I right, Lee?
That's correct.
Yeah. So.
Well, you ought to know. You were a professional radio broadcaster.
Yeah, we used cylinders back in my day when I was a disc jockey. We had a big cylinder machine.
Anybody ever make a crystal radio? Remember when I was a kid?
Oh,
you had those little ones you wound the wire.
I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm
Vernon,
sure
yeah.
Vernon did it. Sure.
I had one.
Yeah. A cat whisker is what they used to call it sometimes. Yeah. And why was it a cat whisker, Vernon? I'm trying to remember exactly.
I guess because it was a real thin piece of wire, so it was, people thought that it was as thin as a cat whisker.
Oh, I see.
Doesn't the two wires on the spool come out on either side? Maybe that looked like the whisker.
No, that's a wire recorder, Phil.
No. But to make a make a crystal radio, you had to have a cylinder, and you wound the thin wire around the cylinder.
Right, but that wasn't the cat.
Yeah, but that's not what the crystal was. There was a crystal, and then there was a connection that it's like a diode. It was actually a diode that was made up of two dissimilar metals.
Yeah. Well, this was way before Kathleen's time, so
Yeah.
And I used to crank my car.
I'll tell you though, when I was a kid, my father, of course, did radio programs with the orchestra, Eddie Fitzpatrick's orchestra out of the St. Francis Hotel, and they would do this radio show once a week, live from the St. Francis Hotel. I think there was a mural room at the Hotel St. Francis, and one day this guy comes over with this machine and he says, I recorded the show. And it was a wire recorder. And before tape, they had wire. And what it was a spool of wire that went, it had the same basic operating theory as tape, only it did it with wire and recorded on wire. And
had a magnetic coating on it, probably.
It was magnetic, and it went past a capstan, a head or something that went up and down like this, so that it would, so all the wire would get evenly spaced on the take-up reel. You get what I'm saying? They didn't have to do that with tape because tape just went across, but it was up and down. And I remember that distinctly when I was a kid. See, wow. And everybody was sitting around just amazed. Wow, we can hear the radio program, The first one I ever saw was a Wallensack. Well, then that was later. I then had, my uncle bought one of the first tape recorders. And he gave it to me. And it was a brush sound mirror. Look it up. You can look it up on the internet. They'll show you a picture of it. And in your apartment on 14th Street, let me finish the story. Can I finish telling the story? Yeah, well, this is another recorder you had, and I was interested in it. Let me finish the story, then you can ask. All right. Okay. And I got this thing, and it was it wasn't a full track, but it was a half track, but the half track went through the middle of the tape, so it was only one track tape. And it had a cat's eye for a VU meter, so you could see it was like this green, remember those at all? Anybody remember those? The green eyes that used to kind of vibrate or whatever. And it came with a reel, although I went out and I bought some of the regular tape, came out with a reel of paper tape. Wow. And they replaced that with, I could use the plastic because it had come out by that time. And I had this rinky-dink old tape recorder that I first used to practice doing radio, In 1972, latter part of 72, in your 14th Street apartment in your living room, you had this reel-to-reel a player. I don't know if it recorded, but it did video. You actually had cartoons. No, that was that you were playing on your TV. No, I'd never seen anything like that. What do you mean? That was the first the first portable video recorder. And this one might not have been a portable. I had a portable and I had a non-portable as well. The one you had was about the size of a Wallensack. Well, that was that was a portable, and it recorded on a half-inch tape. Yeah. And it was a helical scan, and that's what I first shot video with for a long time. That's what we first did Midnight Blue with. I had never seen anything like that in my life. This is 1972. Yeah. And and that was slowly. To this day I cannot play those tapes because. Do you still have the machine? No, I got rid of the machine a long time ago because I found that once I tried to put the tape in the machine. It wouldn't play because it would get stuck to the helical scan because it had lost its lubrication. Oh. I'm sure you know what that's all about, Phil. What? Yeah. In 72 it worked. I was amazed by that thing. I'd never seen anything like that. Yeah. But, and then we went to with 3/4 inch video cassette. which was the professional medium at the time. And then everything went to like VHS, and then Betamax first, then VHS, then now I don't need any of that. I'm recording this right now on a hard drive, So.
Can I ask you a question, Alex?
Yeah, sure.
When you worked at the radio station, did they keep master tapes of all the shows you did and the other artists?
When?
Like in the early 70s? Would they?
No, in the 70s, nah. I'll tell you what happened. You used to record an hour show on a reel this big. Okay? So if I wanted all 4 hours of my show, I'd have to take home 4 of those reels. And they were pretty expensive at the time. So I only saved stuff that was really important, like the John and Yoko interview back then. Things like that.
So you had to take the reel home and copy it then? You could make a copy of it, or would they give it to you?
No, they gave it to me.
Oh, wow.
They didn't care. In a lot of cases, they didn't care. But if I were to then take every show I did home and keep it in my apartment,
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Before not too long, I would have to move out of that apartment because I wouldn't have enough room.
Just imagine if it would be really. I mean, I know it's probably so hard to take so much, but imagine if you did have some That's probably because you can't get it back though. I wonder if they never kept any.
I got to tell you, I have a lot of people who have been sending me stuff they recorded at home of my show, and I've recovered some amazing stuff. Yeah. So
what's it called when they only record the things that you say and just maybe a second or so of the what's going on?
Well, it used to be called a skimmer tape.
Oh.
It's really called what do we
sound check or
air check. Yeah.
Air check. Okay.
And what would happen? This happened at KILT in San Francisco, Live 105. That we had a machine that every time you turned the mic on, the machine would start, and when you would turn it off, it would stop, which was pretty cool. Then you didn't use up a whole lot of cassettes.
Tape.
Although you remember all the cassette tapes I had at my place, Kathleen. You remember all the tapes I had of the shows, the cassettes,
Yep.
And they were starting to that was pretty good in most cases, except one morning I had Tony Bennett on the show.
Oh, I like Tony.
I had Tony Bennett on the show from New York, from a studio in New York, and he sang 3 numbers. And I don't have any of them because I kept turning the mic on and off. So it didn't record the musical parts. All I have is the part where I talk to him. So.
Oh, that would have been still good. Oh, you have the interview then? That would be nice.
Somewhere. I don't know.
I had about 10 boxes, good-sized boxes of your 8mm videos. You had a bunch of porn on 8mm, and you had me store it for about a year or so.
8mm?
Yeah, they were reels. I mean, you could look at them. Maybe they were bigger than 8mm, but they look like 8mm.
You must have gotten that from somebody else because I never had.
No. I dropped them back off in your apartment in Sausalito when I got rid of the
all I ever had
space.
for porn is on tape.
Yeah, well, maybe this stuff was just standard porn, not stuff you did.
I didn't collect that kind of stuff. It was too expensive to begin with. Who wants to? Who wanted
boxes
film?
Of them.
Who wanted film? No, I didn't have boxes. I had boxes of tapes of that stuff.
Maybe there was a few of them in there on the top. I never looked inside.
Phil, I never had any porn films.
Yeah, you did.
I never did.
All
you
right.
must be thinking of some other guy.
No, it was like 10 boxes.
Kathleen, did I ever have porn films?
What is he doing?
No. You're quiet tonight.
Who's that?
No, I'm having some really weird activity in my house
What do you
that
mean?
I cannot explain.
What do you mean weird activity?
UFO?
Nope.
Hmm?
You have son.
Hmm?
I don't know. What was that?
No, because you're just really quiet, like you're concerned with something else.
Oh, very much.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I hope it's nothing serious.
Got any mace or
Yeah.
pepper
No,
spray?
it's unexplainable.
Yeah. Okay, she said it's unexplainable, Phil. I've learned long ago with her never to go further than that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. But anyway.
Body slam you. You'll get body slammed.
Let me ask
Well,
Vern.
it's hard to body slam something you can't see.
Oh, okay.
Poltergeist? Yeah.
I don't know. My timer went off on my oven and it's not set.
No.
Oh, really? How does that
But
happen?
this is typical for me.
You've been listening to Lee's album.
Yeah. So anyway,
Inside joke.
Anyway, again, Phil, you can stay out of this because we know what you're going to say. Vernon, what do you think about the you know, they had another debate tonight, which I didn't watch. I don't know if you watched any of it.
I watched part of it. Yeah.
Does anybody?
The thing I noticed.
Yeah.
The thing I noticed was that all 6 people on the stage seemed to be bending over backwards, not to criticize anyone else on the stage.
Why?
Hey, tell me Biden doesn't look like Walter from Jeff Dunham.
I want to know why Tom Steyer was on that stage and what's his name? Yang was not.
Because he qualified.
How did
And
this
Yang
guy
didn't.
qualify? He's you know
Because
what
he's
kind of
got
donors
more
does he
money
have?
than Yang, I guess.
Yeah. You know, I can't. You
Did-
know.
You have to talk to the Democratic Party, Phil, because they're the ones who set the rules.
Well, maybe he donated.
But anyway,
But it's more than just that. It's more than that. You have to have a certain number of donors, as well as polling a certain percentage in, you know, during a certain period of time.
Then you would think Bloomberg would be there.
no, because nobody. How many?
Bloomberg has one donor.
Yeah, he has one donor, first of all, and secondly, his percentage is so low as to not even be on the map. Because the trouble with Bloomberg is all he's been doing is running fucking ads, but he hasn't been campaigning at all. He hasn't been going out and pressing the flesh or, you know, making his case to the public and whatever. So.
You know, if he runs any more ads in California, you would think that he's the new Cars for Kids guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's bought am I right, Kevin? Kevin's giving me that. You know,
He's going to run a Super Bowl.
what?
Yeah, he's running. He runs. Oh, it's got to be 15 minutes an hour at least.
Yeah, and he's on 60 Minutes every week with his ads.
Well, between him and Steyer, yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
he should do, Bloomberg? Run an ad, and every time at the ad says, Donald Trump is a major asshole still. I approve this ad.
That's what he says.
I just make a cracking joke on
Pretty much, yeah.
Actually, you know,
He's bought a 60-second spot on the Super Bowl.
On the Super Bowl, yeah. I heard he
$10
did.
million.
Yeah, money's no object.
Why can't
boy,
Gavin?
I wish I had that kind of fuck you money. God damn it.
Yeah, Bloomberg money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, he earned his money the old-fashioned way, Phil. He earned it. He didn't give it to him. It wasn't given to him by his daddy.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
true.
you know, a lot of guys earned it. The guy from Microsoft, Bill Gates, he earned it. You know, the Facebook kid earned it. But you know, they got fuck you money, and they're spending it. But I don't think that these guys are going to.
You know something? Trump could have never run a campaign like Bloomberg is. He didn't have that kind of money.
He got it for free.
He didn't have that. Yeah, he got it for free. The press gave it to him for nothing.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
Now they're pissed.
And that other company that works for him called Russia.
Yeah, Russia. By the way, did you hear the latest that the whole? We wondered where this whole notion that Biden's son was doing something inappropriate in the Ukraine. You know where that started?
From Russia.
Putin. Yeah, that's Putin started that, and Trump, I guess, played into it. You know.
The Russian disinformation campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. You know, your boy is a agent of the Russians. Basically.
Oh, comrade, you should be very happy with that.
It's a puppet. It's a
You
puppet.
red diaper baby.
I've never, you know, you always go with that, and I got to tell you, I've always been against communism. Never liked communism. Thought it was a bad idea. You know, but I do like socialism.
They were saying commune.
I do like socialism.
Yeah.
You know, I think socialism is fine. I think we as a society owe it to each other to take care of each other. That's just what neighbors do for each other.
Yeah, Venezuela worked out pretty good. Socialism
Wait
is when the government can spend everybody else's
Wait a minute, stop,
money.
Phil.
Well, why? Because it's true?
Why'd you come up with the Venezuela? Wait. Go, who said that?
Sweden! There's 32 other developed countries that aren't us.
Sweden, Denmark,
and they're all going.
Switzerland,
all going
Norway. Yeah, I mean they're certainly no Venezuelas.
Yeah, well, it's also a very small country.
You also, Phil, you also forget the one thing. Number one, Venezuela isn't that socialistic to begin with. Secondly, it's a dictatorship. There's a difference with that. When you've got, so there's a little bit of socialism in there, but it's a dictatorship. Whereas most of the other countries that have socialism aren't dictatorships, and they're doing just fine, Phil.
And the other countries that you failed to mention, like Andorra and the Vatican and Monaco, those would work out really well as socialized countries as well. You know, because they're a speck on the map. You know,
Canada?
No, I said Monaco.
Don't even pay attention to him. Anyway,
I'm mentioning socialized medicine companies that aren't a spec. Canada.
Canada? Yeah.
England.
None of them doing that well.
Wait a minute.
Not even the Prince.
And we're doing that well.
Yeah, not even the Prince Harry. He wants out. Meghan Markle, she's out. She's already in Canada.
Why do they want out, Phil?
The socialized medicine isn't any good.
I see.
No. They can't stand the mom-in-law anymore.
The royal family can't get health care.
Yeah, really.
Who was laughing? There was somebody laughing at that.
That would have been me.
Huh?
Lee.
That was me.
Oh, that was you.
Alex tells everybody they're not allowed to laugh at my jokes.
No, we're not. It's not that they're not allowed to laugh at your jokes. We just think less of them if they do. Yeah. So anyway, who would you say is Vernon is the best possible candidate as you see it right now, or is there one? I say there isn't one, and I'm frightened about that.
Right.
As I see it right now, it depends on what you mean by the best possible candidate. Mm-hmm. If you mean the best possible candidate running for the Democratic nomination who could beat Trump,
who would that be?
Biden.
Be Biden.
It would be Biden.
Okay. How about you, Kevin?
And
how do you?
I like Pete Buttigieg, but Pete Buttigieg has problems with people of color.
Okay.
They won't vote for him.
Yeah. How about you, Kevin? I mean, do you feel the same way? That it's, I've come around to the fact that the only bet they've got is Biden, but I don't know that that's a good bet either,
That's exactly the way I feel right now.
I mean, I just don't think there's anybody out there. How about you, Tony? Who do you think?
I can tell you right now, I know Warren is.
I know it's Scooby-Doo, but besides Scooby-Doo.
Besides running out on 4 legs, only 2.
Yeah.
I think you're right here. I think it's going to be Biden or Bernie Sanders. I don't think you're right. I don't think Biden's going to win. To me, he could, but I don't know. I think he's going to. I'm going to tell you somehow I really think. I think it's going to be a landslide. I think Trump's going to win.
I don't think it's going to be a landslide, but I think it'll.
Can I say something? I don't think any of them are going to wind up as the nominee. I think it's going to be a brokered convention, and they're going to bring in some white knight from outside. I don't know.
Last time they had that, they had a riot in 1968 in Chicago.
By the way, I've been watching a a 14-part, no, excuse me, 16-part documentary on the history of film on Hulu, which is spectacular. And they're covering directors and films from all over the world and from various eras and so on. And Kathleen, when she had her hood on for a moment there, looked like the from the Seventh Seal, the Death. Yeah, she looked like Death with that. You had your hand up like this, and you had the hood over you.
So you don't think there's going to be a brokered convention?
Do that, yeah. Don't smile. You can't smile. Death doesn't smile.
If you were black, you'd be Trayvon Martin.
What?
Oh,
if she was black, she'd be Trayvon Martin with the hoodie. You know.
Yeah, his death was a hoot, wasn't it, Phil?
Trayvon Martin, the guy that got killed.
I know. We know who Trayvon Martin is.
We know who Trayvon Martin is.
And by the way, just because you explain a joke doesn't mean we're suddenly going to laugh at it.
It was beyond laughing.
And if you have to explain them, they aren't a joke.
Maybe it was too old for most people to.
And the only time you don't have to explain a joke is if it's true. Okay.
For what? Trayvon Martin did not wear a hoodie?
Phil.
So everybody that wears a hoodie should get shot to death?
Yeah, that's kind of bad. Yeah.
No, it's doing the Trayvon. I don't know if they want to get shot to death, but it happens.
You don't know if they want to get shot to death.
I think he doesn't want to get shot.
It's a pretty clear guess that they
Trayvon Martin
don't want to get shot to death.
He grabbed the guy's gun, or at least that's what the guy who's still alive is saying. And
you believe that motherfucker?
Right.
Huh?
Well, get a bigger shovel.
Yeah, he must be telling the truth,
Get a
Phil.
bigger shovel.
Yeah.
And then I guess on the phone.
Yeah, get a bigger shovel, Phil. You're really digging it now.
No, they listened to the whole thing on the phone. He called 911 while they were fighting with the two of them.
This is a new format we've come up with, fun with racists.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Now, all of a sudden, it's a racist thing to wear a hood?
I'm staying out of it.
Yeah, I know.
Let's go back to who can beat Trump.
Who can beat Trump?
Who can beat Trump?
Yeah. You know?
Nobody's
I'll tell you, it's going to be a turnout issue. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to be turnout. And if the Democrats can't get the turnout, then I think Trump has a very good shot of winning again.
Could we say that it doesn't matter who the Democrats run? It's a matter of how much the Democrats want to vote Trump out, and they'll just vote for anybody. Let me finish, Phil. Want to vote Trump out enough that they will get out in sufficient numbers to do it. Because I mean, we had a kind of a canary in a coal mine the other night when Jason said that his people, where he works, are all people who voted for Trump, and they're now saying they're not going to vote for him. Now that doesn't mean that then they are.
Michigan.
Well, they may
say it and go in and flip the switch.
Well, no, they may stay home.
That could be.
That's the point. That's the problem.
10% of Bernie voters voted for Trump in the last election.
Really, that much?
So they didn't go over to Hillary. 10%. I mean,
Hillary, Phil, to begin with. Let's not even talk about Hillary. I said it at the time. I will say it now. She was the worst of all possible candidates.
No, I thought you thought Trump was.
Vernon?
She ran a terrible campaign.
Yeah. She ran a bad campaign.
Ran a terrible campaign. She lost in Wisconsin. She lost in Michigan. She lost in Pennsylvania because she didn't campaign there.
And
she
also,
she was going to win going away.
She actually lost a one election if she had played it right and done it right. But she didn't. She was a terrible candidate. Now, I don't think that Biden would be as terrible a candidate. I don't think Elizabeth Warren would be as bad a candidate.
Yeah.
But
now Biden is up double digits in those three states I just mentioned. Biden is ahead of Trump in double digits.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Most of them are.
Well,
I heard Wisconsin was only 4%. And it was 5% last week.
You probably were watching Fox News, and that was one of their faults.
No, I don't remember which one it was.
Do they have the map yet for Biden versus Trump? Who would win right now, or is it too early? Like, when they do like the states, like do they do that breakdown, like who? Well, they don't know who the opponent is, but I wonder.
What's the Badger state? What is that actually?
Wisconsin, is it?
Is that Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wisconsin,
I guess
yeah,
they're
Badger.
saying that Wisconsin, he has to win that. Trump has to win it for him to win election.
Really? That's the
yeah.
key state?
According to whatever I was listening to
That was
tonight.
key.
Let's see here. Polling data. This is polling data from the various polls. And this is Trump versus Biden. Okay. IBD TIPP. Who's that poll? I never heard of them.
I don't know.
But Biden's up 2%. Emerson, he's up 4%. He's up +4, excuse me.
Okay.
CNN, he's up +5. USA Today, Suffolk, Trump is up +3. Fox News, are you ready for this?
What's the big gap here?
Stand by. Biden +7.
How old is that?
And
Fake news.
Quinnipiac, Biden +9.
How old are those polls?
This poll is, let me see here.
Got to be at least 15 minutes.
It's on Real Clear Politics, so it's got to be right up as close as you can be at this point, So, polling data. What are all these?
I'd rather Trump be the underdog.
There are a whole bunch of
that will keep you guys.
There are
at
all
home.
bunch of others, Phil, and of all of them, and there've got to be about 50 listed here. Trump is only plus in 3 of them.
Holy.
And in some of them, he's as far back as 10, 11. Do I see anything higher than that? 12, 13 for Biden.
During the 2016 election, they all said Trump had no road to victory. Well, who's president?
Well, now they know what to look.
77,000 votes in 3 states.
That's all it took. That's how the game is played.
Well, now they know.
Let's change the game, Phil. Let's elect by popular vote instead.
Hey, let's claim we're all German shepherds, and this way we can pee on
Trump.
Yeah, light stands.
Yeah, let's pee on Trump.
Yeah. So anyway, states that he's currently Trump's leading in Texas. What is it? Is it Idaho? I guess it's Idaho. It's
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Florida.
I knew in Idaho.
Yeah, but it doesn't look. It kind of looks, like Biden at least is their best bet. I don't think that if I went, let me see here. There's another. Let's see, versus Biden. Let me see here. Let me see here. How about Pennsylvania? What do you want to look at? Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Florida, Texas. Anyway, let me go back and see who versus would work for on others. Versus Biden versus Bloomberg. Well, here comes Trump versus Bloomberg. Again?
Who New Yorkers?
No, these aren't New Yorkers. These are
Bloomberg and Trump.
Yeah, Bloomberg +5, Bloomberg +6 in Quinnipiac, but +5 is in the Fox poll. USA Today is the only one that seems to be predicting a win over anybody else with Trump. If we go, let's see here. I wonder how. Let me see here. I'm looking to see Bernie.
Is there a paper called the U.S. Sun?
No, not that I know.
Who's the guy from Australia that Murdoch?
Mm-hmm.
He just started a new newspaper, called the U.S. Sun.
Good. It's probably the American version of the Sun.
Yeah.
Versus, let me see here. Versus Warren.
I was just
Here
thinking
we
about
go.
what would the transition be from Trump to somebody else? God, I think he'd just fuck everything up before he left.
They would take all the
Yes,
T's
he
off the
would.
keyboards.
Yeah, exactly.
In polling for Elizabeth Warren,
Empty the fuel tank and the helicopter and everything.
Fox
Yeah.
says Warren will be +1. Quinnipiac,
taking the light
Warren
bulbs.
+7. Trump is +A in USA Today, and Trump is +1 in the IBD TIPP. I don't know what that is.
Itty bitty, teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
Yeah,
I'd
OPP,
like
yeah,
to
you
see
know
Trump
me.
in one of those.
And the Itty Bitty Titty Club.
Doodah.
What about our number from people from New York who used to be the mayor?
Yeah, he just read those, I thought. Bloomberg?
Yeah, Bloomberg could beat
What
him
about-
too. Bloomberg could beat him too. Well, Bloomberg, see, for those people who are voting for Trump because they say, well, he's got money, so he knows how to make the economy, blah, 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 blah. Well, if it came to a pissing match between who's got more money, it's Bloomberg who's going to have to pick up lunch.
Bloomberg has no personality. I mean, if you
Neither does
think
Trump.
that watching paint dry is
Phil,
interesting,
you want to feel good about Bloomberg? He's a Jew.
So is Bernie.
You're
And,
a self-loathing
I'd love
Jew,
to see a
Phil.
Jew
You're
in
a
the White House.
self-loathing Jew, Phil.
That
If you
was
don't like Bloomberg,
pro-Israel.
they don't get more Jewish than Bloomberg.
I would like to see one that's pro-Israel. And if he's not going to be pro-Israel, then off to the
And
showers.
you know what I have to say
You
about
can be
that?
pro-Jewish without being
You
pro.
know what I have to say about that? Fuck Israel.
Yeah.
I mean, as you know,
I think, Phil, before you mention that, I think you ought to go to Israel first.
yeah.
Well, I've seen it on TV.
Yeah,
It must be true.
Go out there and see what it's really like.
Yeah. One of these days.
Yeah.
I train with a lot of those guys.
Yeah. So.
I
Anyway,
worked there twice.
Yeah.
yeah. Did you like
What
it?
did you think of Israel? Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well,
It's strange. It's not the United States.
the guys I talk to say it's a very tough life, that you're just trying to survive.
I wouldn't say that. People that I saw were working. They were
And
doing
things are expensive, they said. Very expensive.
Well, nobody talked to me about that.
Yeah. And even getting a job is sometimes tough there too. So it's not.
Well, it's not that expensive for Netanyahu because he's getting payoffs, but that's,
Well, you can't eat cigars. Well, maybe you can.
Yeah.
But a lot
Cigars
of
and
people live
champagne.
on kibbutzes,
Yeah.
which are pretty economical. But
Those are all young
you
kids.
live in a farm. It's really what it is.
Yeah, you got to work.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I own my own business, so I don't have to work. I make other people do it.
You make other people work.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
the overseer.
How did you get such shitty health insurance?
Well, many, many years ago, I had really good insurance when I was married. And one of my employees that came to work for me says, "Hey, I want medical insurance." I said, "Well, what do you want?" And he says, "Well, I've had Kaiser. I want Kaiser." So he got Kaiser, and I paid for the Kaiser. And then when I got divorced, I had nothing. So I said, I'll get the Kaiser too. And so my guys have been on Kaiser since 2003.
Well, as Bubbles used to call it, doctor-assisted suicide.
But he has Kaiser.
Yes, he does, as a matter of fact. And I said to him the other day, you better hope they never heard that joke from you. Yeah. Because
Well, with the size of his audiences, I'm sure they haven't.
yeah. But anyway, I mean, it's So let's see here. Has anybody? How about you, Lee? Any idea who could possibly beat Trump or?
And
Well,
Lee,
it's up in
do you
the
have
air for-
Kaiser?
well,
Huh?
Biden is Biden. What is he? He's like a block of wood. He's got nothing really. He's
Paint
not there.
dry.
He's just.
He's
just,
not a block of wood, but he's close to it. He's balsa.
Yeah.
He reminds me of
I don't know
Walter, one of Jeff Dunham's dummies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I dare hope for Bernie, but if he could pull ahead, I think he could really do some damage.
By the way, did I ever tell you
David?
my Jeff Dunham story, Kathleen?
No.
Oh, so I'm doing a show, a TV show at I can't remember where, the old Waldorf, I think it was called. What was the club down on that they had that Bill Graham had? The big one on
Fillmore?
Fillmore?
No, it wasn't the Fillmore.
Oh, the one on off Market or down by the Civic Center?
No.
the old Waldorf?
No, the old Waldorf. Well, the old Waldorf. Yeah, I think so.
Boarding house. I don't remember the others.
Well, anyway, it was a place we did comedy tonight.
Laugh Factory, Chuckle Hut, all the great old.
We did comedy tonight there.
Great American Music Hall.
No, it wasn't there.
Yeah, that could have been.
No, it wasn't it. I know the Great American Music Hall because that was my homestead for all my shows. You know.
That's the one near Civic Center?
No.
What's the one near Civic Center?
There isn't one near Civic Center.
Yeah,
anyway, let's not spend all night with this argument till a bunch of people don't even know the clubs in San Francisco. Anyway, I was doing this show out of this club, this TV show out of this club. And I think it was doing the warm-up or something like that, or the announcing, I can't remember. And Jeff Dunham was on the show with the puppet. Walter, is it called?
Right.
Yep. And so now they decide, can we take a picture of you and Jeff? For our files and for publicity. And I said, sure. And I'm sitting there. And he's got me. I'm sitting here, and over here is Jeff Dunham, and in the middle is the dummy. And Jeff looks over at me, and he says, I understand you don't like prop comics.
What is it?
And I looked over at him, and I said, no, it's not prop comics I don't like. It's ventriloquists. Jeff doesn't react. Blank stare. The dummy looks over at me and bares his teeth at me.
That's awesome.
That's like something out of the movie Magic. I mean, it's just scary.
The murder mystery.
Yeah.
Imagine you start having a fight with the puppet.
I don't know. I just, I don't know, ventriloquists Slayton told me about a time he was working at a club, and in these clubs they have these comedy condos. In other words, rather than put you up at a hotel, who's calling me? What is Irv Jackson calling for? Yeah, wait a minute, hold on a second.
He's got stuff.
Yes, Irv. Well, I don't care because I'm doing a show right now.
Hi, Irv.
Don't you know that?
Everybody say hi to Irv. Hi, Irv.
I mean, I will. You're logged in. Well, you're logged in. You're logged in. Hold on a second. Hold on, folks.
Talk amongst ourselves.
Just don't move anything. Don't move anything. Don't move anything.
Okay.
Don't move anything.
Okay.
Take Imodium.
Now.
I know.
Now try and move.
Why'd you skim him
try and
over?
move stuff around. Go ahead. There. See, it's moving. See, you're huh? Did you? Huh?
Everybody, put your head down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm doing a show here. I sent you an email saying Thursday I wouldn't be on.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, bye. Oh, boy. I sent him an email saying I wasn't going to be on Thursday, and he misread it. I guess Tuesday looks like Thursday, I would imagine. Anyway.
Hey, out of the 4 people from California here, how many of them have Kaiser? No?
I want to live.
Yeah.
He's got this insurance where they got to throw him.
So I'll give you I'll give you Bubbles' phone number. You can bond with him.
I got it.
You know, I don't understand, Phil, why you would have trouble with Kaiser. They're such wonderful people. I used to go to Kaiser when I was a kid. My parents belonged to Kaiser. My father died at Kaiser. My father died at Kaiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that certainly was a help. You don't belong to Kaiser, do you, Mr. No. Oh boy, my mind.
Come on.
I'm so fucked up.
It's the gold
You
in your
sound
prostate.
like my son.
Huh?
Porky.
Wait a
He hasn't
minute.
got the cold in there yet.
Wait a minute. Lee, press on. That's it. Lee.
Hi.
Lee, you don't have Kaiser, do you?
Medi-Cal. I'm a jazz musician.
How do you get Medi-Cal?
Nice.
Wouldn't you get Obamacare?
Do you have some?
Same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, how do you? You're too young, aren't you?
Me? No.
How old?
No, I'm in my 50s, Al.
It all depends on how much you make.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
can hide enough of your income, they'll pay.
Oh, well,
Right.
he's a
I'm-
musician.
I'm broke. Yeah, I'm a musician. I don't make enough money for real insurance. I have Medi-Cal.
But
still-
even with the Medi-Cal, you don't get to choose what
It's
system
it's
you
not
want.
Metal
Yeah, you
Cal,
do.
Phil. It's
Nope, I go
Medi-Cal.
where they tell me. But still, thanks to the Affordable Care Act, I'm insured for the first time since 1990.
See that,
So
Phil?
thank you, President Obama.
Yeah. Thank you, President Obama. We love you, President
Vice President
Obama.
Biden.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said it. This is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
BFD. Sure is. Yeah.
Biden doesn't know that every mic is a live mic.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, neither does our
but Trump does, and he still says bullshit.
Right.
On purpose.
Yeah, but I mean, do you really like a president who sends that kind of message to the youth of America that they can use dirty language?
What else is new?
What? Obama never
I
swore,
learned all my dirty language as a little kid.
but not from presidents
Yeah,
of the United States.
You know, I went from wee wee and pee pee to,
To what?
to the curse words. Every mic is a live mic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite word is fuck.
Okay.
My favorite word is fuck because it is a word that you use it. You know, it is a useful word. There's no other word that describes that particular thing. You can't use a singular word to affect that kind of thing. You get what I'm saying? In other words, I'm going to make love.
It has several meanings too.
Yeah.
Hey, when my girlfriend, I would say, hey, you want to fuck? And that was the end of it. I got nothing that night.
Really? But if you said it, yeah. Well, all I'm saying is fuck is a utilitarian
bang,
word because it's the
slam,
only single word you
plow.
can use to describe that action. Okay?
How about intercourse?
That's not an active
Oh,
verb. That's
God.
a noun.
Uh,
We're looking at active verbs here.
I'm sorry, I've never had intercourse with a woman in my life. Except
know.
when we were discussing stuff.
Yes.
You
see,
know.
Kathleen? I don't know. I think he's digging it kind of deep.
Well, I mean, would you describe what we had at one time as intercourse?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So, see? Intercourse is when we sat down and discussed stuff. You know.
Just
Isn't
a
that
lab.
oral
That's-
sex?
That's
Discourse.
oral sex, yes. When I talked dirty to you, that
Talk
was
about it.
intercourse, right? I
Dirty
forget. Is
discourse.
your son watching all this?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but,
Hi,
hey,
kids.
just tell your son we never touched each other. The whole time I knew your mother, I treated her with great respect and never even touched her. Okay?
It's time to play
That's
the.
because he was in handcuffs the whole time.
Yeah. Let me know when your son's there next time, though. I won't bring it up. But, you know.
So how about them 49ers?
Oh, hey, you know, I just looked, and it's time for the theme song, and Jack's got to go on next. Except he doesn't know that he's going on next. I don't know. He said...
Taking lessons from Biden?
What? I don't know.
Taking lessons from Biden?
Anyway, it's been fun tonight. It's been fun. I mean...
Hey, no Phil tomorrow. I get to beat up on old people.
Well, no Alex here on Thursday, so Friday we'll see you. Let's say goodnight to Phil. Let's say goodnight to Jeff. Let's say goodnight to Tony, and that horrid wallpaper. Vernon, great to have you back again. You're terrific. I like you a lot. Kevin, like you a lot too. And of course, Lee Presson, the best. Thank you, Lee. And of course, the lovely and attractive. Yeah, there she is. That's Schmoody. Thank you, everybody. Give a big wave goodbye here, and we'll wave goodbye to you back at you. Okay, bye. Okay, that's it. That's our people for tonight. Stay tuned for the intersection. It's next with our good friend. Let me just take care of this here. Let me get rid of Skype. Hold on a second. I can't. Where is this? Where? I'm trying to kill all these various things, and I can't because Skype won't let me see what. Well, anyway, that's it. I'm going to kill the Skype. That's it. That's it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Nice having you here. We'll see you again back same place tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.